All right. All right, good morning, everyone. This is the April 11, 2023 Cottage Grove Economic Development Authority meeting, which we're calling to order. Jamie, do you want to roll?
EDA President Bailey.
Aye.
EDA Vice President Dennis.
Here.
EDA Member Carey.
Here.
EDA Member Crone.
Here.
EDA Member Myers.
Here.
EDA Member Scotton.
All right, everybody's here. Thank you. The next item on our agenda this morning is approval of the minutes, and we do have one, which is 3.1, the approval of the February 14th, 2023 EDA meeting minutes. And if there were no changes or corrections, I'll need a motion and a second.
Mayor, I'll make the motion for us to approve the minutes from February 14th.
All right, so we have a motion by EDA Vice President Dennis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, EDA Member Crone. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is 4 is business items, and 4.1 is the economic development update and business inquiry. And Gretchen will take us through this, or G, sorry. G will take us.
You
Welcome.
may call me either name that you would prefer. Good morning, everyone. It's another nice day in the neighborhood, and we have members of the audience. Hi, Robin. So, economic business development updates. We're going to start with the beige book. Employment grew modestly since the last report, and price increases were also modest overall, with some signs of easing inflationary pressures. The food and hospitality industry continues to struggle to find workers, with many workers reporting that they quit their jobs to start their own businesses, making an already challenging situation even more complicated. Consumer spending fell slightly. Commercial construction fell slightly, while commercial real estate was flat and residential real estate continued to slow or stopped altogether. Manufacturing activity increased modestly, while agricultural conditions remained strong. And women in minority-owned businesses reported steady activity, although the labor market tightness continues to put uneven pressure on their businesses. Next, we have some updates from the planning department, Cottage Grove Apartments. As you can see, the framing, insulation, and drywall continues for the building, while trade work nears completion in the south half. The View, construction of the wood frame portion of the building continues, and trade work is ongoing. Then we have Cottage Grove Logistics Park. Both current buildings are waiting on materials to complete the electrical work, and North Point is proposing to construct a speculative office area in each building to encourage leasing as ready to occupy. And we can now officially announce that they do have their first tenant, Van Meter's expansion. With Van Meter's expansion, they took 104,000 square feet. So that's exciting news for both of them. Renewal by Anderson, the interior framing and plumbing have begun. It's looking good. Pizza Ranch, drywall has been installed and finishing work has begun. They're still hoping to open probably in June. Wells number 2 and 7, bless you. Framing and insulation are complete for these water treatment buildings. And then some other things we thought we'd pull out from the report that the department did. Pacific Dental, the permit has been issued, but construction has not yet begun. Ulta Beauty plans have been received for the interior remodel and facade improvements, and they're going to be located next to Planet Fitness. Home Choice their plans have been reviewed and approved for their furniture store located next to Ace Hardware. Jersey Mike's, the building permit has been issued for their subs, and they're going to be located in the vacant tenant space next to Menards, or the building adjacent to Menards. And then in Glacial Valley Park, the plan review has been completed for the new building. Happy to answer any questions about that, and Emily, our acting community development director, is here as well.
All right, any questions for G at all? Anybody? You covered it all. You did good.
Well, they're doing all the heavy lifting
There we go.
in planning.
All right, so seeing no other questions on that one, we'll move to 5, which is a public hearing. And 5.1 is the 95th and Jamaica land sale to Hohenstein's. And G, you're going to take us through that.
Yes. So the city's received a purchase agreement from Hohenstein Real Estate, LLC, for the purchase of the vacant property located at 95th Street South and Jamaica Avenue South, as indicated on the map. Hohenstein's plans to build a beverage distribution facility at the site. Historically, just as a reminder for some folks, all the land in the business park has been sold to the EDA and then sold to the end user, allowing for cost recovery to make the site pad ready. And then pursuant to Minnesota statutes 469-105, the EDA must hold a public hearing on the sale of the property and publish a notice of the hearing at least 10 days, but not more than 20 days in advance. And that official notice has been published in the city's official newspaper for the hearing. The applicant is available in here, and I'll turn it over to you in the public hearing.
All right. First of all, any questions by anybody on the EDA here for Gretchen? All right. Seeing none, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. This is the opportunity that if anybody wants to speak on this item is welcome to do so at this time. And not seeing anybody, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. We actually have 3 separate motions that we'll need to make. So if there's no other questions or comments for our staff, I'll look for a motion for number 1 that's on the screen before us.
I can kick it off.
Go ahead.
All right, we got to motion to approve a resolution for the purchase of property from WAG and sale of property to Hohenstein Real Estate LLC for development purposes.
All right, so I have a motion by EDA member Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA Vice President Dennis. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Who would like number 2? Okay, Sandy?
Okay, I make a motion to authorize the EDA President and City Administrator to execute the purchase agreement with WAG for the purchase of 19.17 acres for development purposes.
All right, so we have a motion by EDA member Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA member Crone. Any further discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, number 3.
I can make a motion to authorize the EDA President and City Administrator to execute the purchase agreement with Hohenstein Real Estate LLC for the purchase of 19.17 acres.
All right, so we have a motion by EDA member Carey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA Vice President Dennis. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And you didn't have to talk. Welcome, hopefully welcome to Cottage Grove. We're excited to have you here, so.
Here, I'd like to make a quick statement.
Yes, EDA Vice President Dennis.
So we're very excited to have you guys here as investors into the community. Hohenstein's is a fantastic family-owned Minnesota licensed wholesaler for adult beverages, most notably in the beer realm. And they have the preeminent craft beer book in the state of Minnesota. So we're very happy to have you here. Thank you.
Very much so. All right. So moving on to 6, which is other business, EDA Calendar, that was given to you, and then that's 6.1. 6.2, EDA Comments, EDA Vice President Dennis.
All right, thank you, Mayor. And for everyone here on the panel and those at home that may be watching, we had a monumental accomplishment take place here in the city, and that is a AAA bond rating. And Brenda, our finance director, I'd like to just reach over to you for a second and have you talk just a little bit about that accomplishment and what that means for our community.
Well, what it means for council or members of the EDA, what it means for our community is that we are one of a few communities in Minnesota that hold that AAA bond rating. And so what that says to our bondholders and to our residents and our businesses, that we do a great job with our finances and our financial planning. And so in the future, when we go out and issue bonds for the community, we will do that at a lower interest rate, so we have our savings for our taxpayers.
Yeah, and that's a huge, huge thing for us because if you think how interest rates have risen and additional cost factors across the board, for us to be able to achieve this and have a higher level of value is really an amazing thing. And as you said, this is something that is usually relegated for far larger cities than ours. So I think it speaks very clearly to the job that everybody has done, our council and our staff team, to manage a really, really good business. And so it's not just going to help us for future times of getting a better rate, but it's also giving us an opportunity that if we want to refinance some of the current notes we have, that we can get a lower rate on that as well. So this can make a big, big difference for us. And again, when we've got new investors coming to town, I think it's provides a lot of confidence for them to know that we run a good business here. So thank you for that feedback. Thank you, Mayor.
Fantastic. And I will just piggyback a little bit on what you were just saying. And again, you mentioned about a city our size, or not that many cities in Minnesota that have AAA. I do remember, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again publicly here. When I became mayor, and 16 years ago, one of the things we always aspired to get to was, frankly, AA plus, which we did, and then we said it's going to be, and heard it was going to be a very long time before we would get to AAA, and we need to be a much bigger city. We heard all those stories, and then, boom. Obviously it took years to do this, but very impressed, and kudos to our staff and councils and such and EDA for making this all happen, by the way. So definitely going to be cost savings for our citizens of Cottage Grove, so pretty cool. Any other EDA comments? I'm going to look to staff for a quick second. Are we going to do we have a meeting before we go to the ICSC, is that correct?
Yes, Mayor. At that time, we'd make a presentation to the EDA in regards to our efforts and strategies out there.
Perfect. I was just going to mention just for the EDA that with staff, some staff members and EDA Vice President Dennis and I will be going to the ICSC convention in Vegas towards the end of May. And that is obviously to meet with developers, investors, and so on about bringing their businesses and such to Cottage Grove. So we'll let you guys bring that back to us to share with the EDA and the public what our plans are at the next meeting. Any other EDA comments or requests? 6.3 is response to previous EDA comments or requests. There was none. 7, we do not have a workshop this morning. And 8 is already a motion to adjourn. Who would like to take it?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, so a motion by EDA member Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA member Carey. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. There we go. Quick. But thanks for coming.